everybody. I'm Preston. I'm from Eptrue. And if you had asked me a year ago today where I would be, I would tell you anywhere besides Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Now, I didn't know where I was going to college or what I was doing, and that freaked my family out. Mostly because both my dad and granddad graduated from this place. So, as you can imagine, all of my baby pictures were with me, a plush bulldog puppy, a Citadel football, and me in a little Citadel onesie. That was pretty much all of my pictures up until about 3 years old. Now growing up, I grew up in Moncks Corner, which is about 30 minutes up the road into the woods from here right here. And all of my life, I had come to this place, come to all of the football games, all of the basketball games, and baseball games, pretty much set up to just come here. And that was pretty much my whole plan up until about middle school. In middle school, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the Air Force Academy instead. That was like the only other okay thing my parents and grandparents were okay with. And I went out there, visited, saw everything, and got back and was like, no, that's too far away. I love the beach, and I'm not a big mountains person. So I got into high school, transferred schools into a big, huge public high school, which was very different from my small little Christian school when I went to the same classes with the same 8 people all of my life. When I got there, I wasn't really sure what I was wanting to do. So I just stuck with my Citadel game plan up until senior year. Senior year, my best friends of high school went to Clemson University. So naturally, I went up and saw him, and we had a good time. It was homecoming weekend, and I finally discovered that, hey, there are other places in the world besides the Citadel. So I went up there, saw it all, went to not a good class with him, went to the football game, tailgating, came back home, and my mom was like, so how did you enjoy it? And I was like, Mom, I'm going to Clemson. I'm not going to the Citadel anymore. And my dad heard that, and he about freaked out. He sat there, he was like, what do you mean you're not going to the Citadel anymore? He said, I replied, Dad, I had way too much fun up in Clemson. I don't know if I want to do this anymore, but we'll see how it goes. He didn't like that answer, but my granddad was more accepting of it. Because my uncle went to Carolina, so he'd already experienced the whole another kid goes somewhere else thing. And he was like, okay, well, I'll do some research in it, and we'll see where it goes. So we were sitting there, and then once I had to start applying to colleges, my parents made me apply to 3 colleges. Those were here, obviously, Clemson University, and Presbyterian College. Now, I didn't know anything about Presbyterian College besides the fact that my granddad's friend's son was there in the ROTC department, and he was like, you need to apply here because I said so. I said, okay with that. Not going to argue with you. So I applied there, and December came, and got the acceptance letter from here, got the bridge letter from Clemson, and got the acceptance letter from Presbyterian. And then one of my teachers, who I've known all my life, came up and asked me one day, she's like, well, Preston, where do you think you're going to go now? I said, I don't know, Miss Kathy, ask me in June, or ask me in May. Because I didn't want to answer that question. I was just trying to live right in with all of my friends. So it was okay. January, my parents weren't pushing me to make a decision. February, my parents weren't making me make a decision. March, my mom started freaking out. She was like, you need to decide right now. And then April came. April was when I did my final go through all my colleges. Earlier that year, I did a pre-nop here, and I enjoyed it, and I thought it was really fun. Had a really good pre-nop host. Showed me all around. And then I visited both Presbyterian College and Clemson University for the last time. That one during my spring break. At PC, I went, stayed the night, saw their ROTC department, walked around the campus, which took about 45 minutes. That's all that's there. And met all the guys there and had a really good time again. So at that point, I was like, yeah, I might go to Presbyterian because I didn't get into Clemson, so I decided that might be where I was headed. I went up to Clemson University the next day and attended a formal with one of my friends. So I got back, was staying with my best friend Connor again, and little did I know, Mr. Vasquez from the Tango Company, his girlfriend lived 4 doors down from him. And he was up there that weekend. So he heard that I was up there trying to decide where I was going to go, comes in, throws the door open, and he said, "So you're going to the Citadel, I hear?" I was like, "I don't know. I just got back, dude. Relax." And he was like, "Well, I think it's a really good place and you should go there." Taught me about it for like 2 hours. And it was a whole lot of fun. We were sitting there, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I still don't know where I want to get. And Connor, my best friend Connor asked me, he was like, "Are you going to make up your damn mind yet? Because your mom called me earlier today trying to convince you to go to the Citadel. Because she is freaking out for you." I said, "Okay, Connor, well, I'll make up my mind." So I'm on my drive home, which is 4 hours. That's a long time to think about what you're going to do with your life by yourself. So I sat there and I was thinking, I was weighing all the options. And I finally came to the conclusion I had way too much fun at Clemson, so I probably shouldn't go there. I had a whole lot of fun at Presbyterian College and would always be in Clemson, so I shouldn't go there. And then the Citadel has really good academics and would make me study. Might be a good idea if I go there. But of course, being a grad son, you don't ever want to give the answer, "Yeah, I'm going to go to the Citadel," until it's the last possible second. Because you want to like draw it out as long as you can to just like let them live in suspense. So we were sitting there. I go in the bank one day to see my granddad, and all I hear is Terry Longbill call me into his office. He's like, "Hey Preston, come here." And I walk into his office and I'm like, "Hey Mr. Terry, how you doing?" He's like, "Well, you gonna make up your mind because you're giving everybody in this bank a heart attack, trying to make sure you go to this school and make sure your granddad will survive it." And I said, "Okay, Mr. Terry, I'll think about it." So I walk up to my granddad's office, just as it has been like normal. And I walk in, sit down, and he said, "So where are you going?" I said, "The Citadel." He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I guess so." Seeing as how it was April 31st and the money was due May 1st. So I was sitting there and he was like, "Well, all right." Now, when I left, I didn't know it, but Mr. Terry came up to me the next day and he said that my granddad ran down the stairs and like started hollering through the door that I finally decided where I was going to school. Now, this made my dad happy because I like went home and wasn't going to say anything, but apparently my granddad called my dad. So I go home and my dad like has Citadel stuff all over the house. He's like, "I heard you made up your mind." And I said, "Yes, sir, I did." And he said, "So it's the Citadel?" I said, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Well, that's good because I got a call today that said that you got an Army scholarship today too." I said, "Was it a 3-year or a 4-year?" He said, "It was a 4-year." And I said, "Well, it's a good thing I decided to go there then." So now I'm here after a long summer of doing not Citadel things and not working out. I got here and quickly realized I didn't know crap. I knew my dad had told me stuff, I knew my granddad had told me stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I have a general idea of what's going to happen." I didn't know a thing. Got here, my dad's roommate for 9 years sons in our company, and that was like the only person I knew in my company. And now we're here today, and I wouldn't regret it. Thank you.